Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. I'll start with roll call. I'll start with our board members. Laura Lee, are you on?
Yes, I am.
Perfect. I need to turn up my volume here. Much better. Okay. Eileen, are you on? Dr. Moreland?
Yes.
Mark Eby?
I am here.
Right. Denver Marlowe? And Deandra? Greg Smith?
I'm here.
Kimberly Jacobson? Kendra Titus?
She sent me this is Laura Lee, just sent a text and said, for you to please check your phone. That's all she said.
One moment. Okay. Let me get her that info for you real quick. Sorry guys, let me get this sent over real quick and we can get going here. I opened mine. How did I open mine? Okay. Oh, where'd it go? Sorry, I'm trying to get this phone number for her. And this is not easy to get. I'm just here. Apologize, guys. Shouldn't be too much longer. To her. I think I got that done. Okay. Now we will go on to KDA staff. I'll come back and we'll catch Kendra whenever she's able to get on. I see I have Jennifer Dannenberg from legal. Chris Damel from KDA. Dr. Smith. Mark Olson, Michelle Florence, of course myself, Sarah McReynolds, and I believe that is all that we have on here today so far. Sorry. And then public members, I see we have, I'll just go off our participants here. We have Michelle Russell. Whenever I say your name, if you want to unmute and say who you are, who you represent, and then I can go on our next one. Michelle, are you there? I'm not sure we can hear you. I know she's with the Kansas Pet Professionals, so I can say that for her. Lisa Foster.
Hey, I'm with Stray Dog Institute.
Thank you. Where'd my list go here? Okay, I have Midge Grinstead.
HSUS.
Thank you. Rachel Willis.
Hi, good morning. The Humane Society Legislative Fund of Kansas.
Thank you. Sage, I'm gonna ruin the last name, I'm sorry. Ezel, I'm hoping.
Ezel, you're close.
Oh,
I'm with the Humane Society Legislative Fund of Kansas as well.
okay, thank you. And then I have Sheila Martinson.
Good morning. I'm also with Humane Society Legislative Fund of Kansas.
Thank you. And I think finally Terry Humphrey, I believe. Let's see here. And then I see a Crystal came on. Is that Crystal Blackdeer?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you
This
guys.
is Kendra.
Hey Kendra, you're here. Good. I'm glad you're here. That is okay. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. Again, reminder, housekeeping, keep your mic muted unless if you're up to speak or you need a speaker or anything like that. We'll, of course, usually have our 2-minute comment period for our public members. So if you could hold your questions or comments or anything until then, we can get to those at that time. And we will go ahead and get started. So opening remarks, Mark, if you have any opening remarks, you can go ahead and take us off.
Nothing really. Just I hope everybody's doing well, and I know it's been a challenging year, and I appreciate the patience of everybody, and thanks to KDA for all your help. I've asked you some challenging questions as well, so thank you for everybody for being here and taking the time to do this today.
Thank you, Mark. I would like to pretty much say the same. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. I'm glad everybody's able to join in. I know we wanted to do this in person, but just how reality is right now. So just to keep everybody safe, we'll just keep on with virtual. So I will go ahead and get started. You should see my welcome page for our presentation here today. And I'm going to go ahead and throw up our approval of May 12, 2020 minutes. If somebody has any comments, our board would have gotten copies of that whenever I sent out the invite. So if there's any comments or changes on those, please mention those now so Michelle can get those noted. Okay, being none, could I get a motion to approve those minutes?
This Mark, so moved.
Do I have a second?
This is Laura, second.
Thank you. We will consider those as approved. Move on. Okay, so we all know about COVID-19. So our impacts we had here at the program, of course, I mentioned in the last meeting we had that during the start of the pandemic, we had to temporarily halt routine initial and re-inspections, and that went on for about 85 days. The program did respond to complaints during that entire time, and we did resume inspections that had become overdue or were up for re-inspection starting on June 15th. There were specific county restrictions based on those hotspots of the COVID-19 pandemic at that time. And now on July 30th, we resumed all overdue inspections and are continuing to get back on our track of being ahead on inspections. So our inspectors are open to continuing to do their daily routines right now. Currently, we have no overdue inspections at this time. That COVID-19 85-day period made a few of our inspections go a little overdue, and so we have now gotten those caught up. So we are good to go right now. So with COVID-19, everybody has different ways of doing things, and that includes the program as well. So our current COVID-19 policy is first, a FYI, just as a reminder, due to it being a statutory law, our no contact fees still must be assessed if we are not able to get contact. So when an inspector arrives for an inspection, they'll attempt to make their first contact via phone. If they've not had any luck with a phone number or a designated agent phone number, they will then try to physically go knock on a door and get some physical contact to hopefully get an inspection completed at that facility. When that contact is made, the inspector has some screening questions to ensure your safety as well as the inspector's safety, just to make sure everybody's okay. Our policy right now is if, you know, they've answered yes to a question, we would take that into consideration based on how we proceed with the inspection. Inspectors will wear a mask, gloves, and booties throughout the inspection. So they should be wearing all of that gear so that way you are protected, they're protected. We should be maintaining social distancing, so that would be on the effort of the inspector and the licensee. So throughout the inspection, maintain that social distancing, and we can work within licensees to send inspections virtually or however, if it's necessary to maintain that. And we also are encouraging our representatives of facilities and owners to also wear a mask for their protection as well. Next up, I'll run it over to Justin. He is going to talk about our animal health budget.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you.
Excellent. All right. Well, again, good morning, everybody. And greatly, I want to echo Tyler and Mark's appreciation for you folks all to get on there. So not a lot to add to the animal health budget conversation other than we're continuing to work on our adjusted budgets. We have submitted our FY21 adjusted budget, which is the budget we're working on right now. And, you know, fortunately, we're not asked to make a lot of changes to that. Other than I will tell you, the program has always struggled of trying to maintain their costs and maintain their allocations or what their necessary needs are. And they continue to do so. And so we have to get a little inventive about how we move some money around and through our state general funds and that type of thing. But right now, the adjusted budget has been sent in. The fiscal year 22 adjusted budget is like I said, it's a target. It's a moving target right now. I put a lot of question marks on it out there. We have submitted our fiscal year 22 budget, but we look for us to have to make some dramatic changes to that based on the state economy and obviously the impact that COVID-19 has had on it. With that said, it has been agency-wise, they're looking at a proposed 10% cut. I'm not sure what that means down to the program level. We will be looking at that as we continue on, but I just kind of want to get everybody a flavor that we have got a budget. We are working through adjusting those. Like I said, the program does struggle each and every year, some years worse than others. I think Tyler's going to show you some numbers later on that's going to help it causes me a little bit of worry based on the number of licensees that we have and how that trend is trending down and how are we going to maintain that licensee dollar. So with that said, I'll leave it to questions or whatever, but I just wanted to bring everybody up to date that we are working on them. Thanks, Tyler.
Absolutely, thank you. So yes, I'm going to go now kind of into our extra animal health update, AFI update, after I talk about our post-audit. Let me see. There we go. Okay, so legislative post-audit update. So you all are aware of the 2018 LPA audit that we had, and now we have become subject of a follow-up audit. Apparently they do these for a few audits that they've recently or previously done, and they just want to follow up on what or how the agency divisions respond to those audits and those suggestions. And so we were subject to one of those. And so throughout the months of July and August, myself and Jennifer Dannenberg from Legal have worked with those auditors to address their questions, provide any documentation to show what we've done in efforts to respond to those suggestions and what we've put in place for taking those into consideration. We currently are through that first process of sending them documentation and everything like that as far as we know of right now. We've not had anything come back so far that's been really delaying that. And now we should expect at this time to see a final report published in December, just like the previous LPA report in 2018. It'll just be a follow-up report showing the same final information. So going into our AFI update, this is our current inspection map. You see that we've got some updated numbers, and this is most updated since last week. You'll see Mark Olson has 243 facilities he's managing up in that northwest, north central area. Chris Dimmel, he is working in that southwest and south central area. He's got 266 facilities he's managing. And you'll notice that currently our Eastern Kansas inspection area is currently vacant. And they have a management of 357 facilities. And what I'll note here is that the reason this is significantly higher than Chris or Mark's area is because of the driving and the distance between facilities. You'll see a lot of these facilities are really compact in this Kansas City metro area. And so the driving isn't as extreme as some of our facilities back out here in the Southwest and then Northwest. So that's how we kind of maintain that to give some opportunity for some balance. So with that vacancy, I would really like to commemorate Chris and Mark. They have made excellent efforts to continue to keep up with inspections, even in that Eastern Kansas area. And I've even gone out for a few of the inspections as well. And if I need to go out anymore, I'm able to. That's a big thing. Being in an inspector position previously, I'm able to do that. And so it helps out our program so that we know, you know, we're keeping up on inspections. And so during this vacancy, all of us are making the effort to keep that area up to date. And so whenever an inspector does get put into that facility or that area, we're able to get them on a good start versus having them be behind. Currently, our AFI staffing, you'll see me as program manager, and we've got our AFI investigator position as still vacant. Michelle is our AFI specialist, so our admin assistant here in the office. Our vacant Eastern Kansas Animal Health Inspector position. Chris is out in that area of Southwest and North or South Central, and Mark is in the Northwest, North Central, like I showed you. So currently, we've got 2 vacancies at this time. So our 2020 license year stats. So this is going to run from October 1st to September 1st of this year. So we've had a total of 466 total inspections. That is less than what we would normally have based on the fact that we had to have a big hold on inspections during that COVID period. Of those 466, 346 were routine inspections, 44 were complaints. We have completed 54 initial inspections, 12 re-inspections have been done, and 22 no contacts, and then 5 combining focus, consent, or requested inspections. And then total miles driven between our 3 inspectors has been 65,667 miles. Again, that's lower because we've not been out on the road for a couple months during that COVID period. Renewals. So we are in our renewal season time. That usually starts beginning August. So we sent out renewals, and this is currently what we have right now. It's not what I would like to see. I'd like to see more renewed. Since last week, we have gotten in a lot more, but currently right now, we have had a total of 79% of breeders renew online, and total of 66. So total active that we have based on how many have renewed has been 24%. Research facilities, we've had 75% of them that have renewed have done it online, and that is 57% total of our active that have been renewed. Kennels, so boarding and training kennels, we've had 55 total renew, 89% of those were online, and what's left is 31% has renewed that are currently active, so we still have some more to go there. Out-of-state distributors, we currently have 2 that are renewed, both online, and that makes a 100% renewal online. And we have 2 more that need to renew, so we're at 50%. Pet shops, they have had 78% total renew online, and we are currently at 10% of our active renewed. A lot of those pet shops are like our Orschelns and stuff like that, and usually they kind of get in later in the renewal season just because they've got to get a lot of facilities to get vet care forms redone and everything. So they work through a corporate office to do all that. And then of course, shelters, we've got 76 of that have renewed total so far. 91% of those have been online. And we currently only have 25% of our total shelters renewed. So in total, we currently only have 24% of our total in licenses renewed. And we have until September 30th to get those renewed to be on time without a late fee. After October 1st, a late fee of $70 is added, and a renewal will be sent out again here within the next couple weeks. We sent one out September 2nd, and we saw a lot of good response on that. So then if we don't have renewals done by October 31st on November 1st, those that are still overdue and expired will be sent down to our legal department to be issued cease and desist orders as they've not renewed their license.
Hey, Tyler, can I ask a quick question?
For sure.
From a benchmark standpoint, can you compare that to last year at all? I mean,
yeah, to a point, yes. I know usually around the beginning of September, we've definitely have a lot more renewed by this time. I'm not sure if it's just been COVID that's really delayed everybody this year or what's been going on, but it has seemed to be quite less than previous years by this time.
but we
Like I
don't know if
said-
they've closed or if it's just a delay in wanting to renew
Yeah.
or anything like that. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
We get some closings, but that doesn't really show exactly how many total we will have. But for this year, I know whenever we sent out our renewal reminders on September 2nd, so now it's the 9th, we have had quite a few responses since then. So I know we've gotten quite a few online that I know have been processed. So this is numbers as of September 1st. So we have had some more come in since then, but it is still lower than what we would normally see right now.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. So our license year 2020 facilities, currently we have 869 total licensed and active. 251 of those are our pound and shelters. 83 are our animal breeders. 122 are our retail breeders. 176 are our boarding and training kennels. 66 are hobby breeders. 92 pet shops. 58 rescue networks. 7 research facilities. Currently, we do not have any active temporary pet shops licenses, and usually we see those quite a few throughout the summertime. But with COVID, a lot of those like reptile shows and trade shows aren't happening. Then 10 distributors and 4 out-of-state distributors. Okay, so you'll see, we've discussed this before, kind of our trends of what our license types have been in the way of active licenses per year. And this is from 2017. And we're staying fairly steadily in licenses. We've had the biggest drop in hobby breeders, as well as some retail breeders. And we are seeing a slight decline in pounds and shelters. So we see some fluctuation, but we do see some inflation on some of these as well. I mean, you can see we've had some increase in our boarding training and facilities. So, and some even increases in our animal breeders. So we have kind of a steady range right now. But a full sight of this is our total trend licenses since 2017. And it's obviously gone down. We went up a little bit in license year 18, and then we've just continued to decrease since 2017 or 2018. Currently, our complaints, October 1 to September 1st, we've had 126 total. 3 of those are currently active. On September 1st, there were 3 active. I don't believe there's currently 3 total right now. Of those 126, 78 of those were no jurisdiction. So they just did not fall under the Kansas Pet Animal Act, or it was about a dog that's tied up to a tree that we forward on to local law enforcement to issue an animal welfare check. We've currently had 0 hobby breeder complaints come in. We've had 4 animal breeder complaints, 5 boarding and training kennel complaints, 6 pet store complaints, 2 retail breeder complaints, 9 shelter complaints, and 3 rescue network complaints, and 13 total unlicensed complaints. So our breakdown, we do not have any no complaints in the hobby breeder category. Pet shops, we have had 6 unfounded, and there's currently 1 active complaint. Retail breeders, 1 is founded and 1 was unfounded. Shelters, we had 3 founded, 6 unfounded, and 1 is currently active. Animal breeders, we had 1 founded and 3 unfounded complaints. Unlicensed, we had 7 founded and 6 unfounded, and there's currently 1 active one. Boarding training kennels, there's 3 founded, 2 unfounded. Rescue networks, 1 was unfounded, 2 were unfounded. So to explain founded, unfounded, that's based on the nature of the complaint. So we get a complaint in, just because it's a founded inspection doesn't mean, or complaint, doesn't mean that they had an unsatisfactory inspection. So there's kind of 2 parts of that complaint system. So our reinspection and no contact fees. Currently, animal breeders, they have had 3 no contacts and 4 re-inspections. Of those, we've had total 42 inspections completed on animal breeders. Animal distributors, we've had 4 total inspected, no contacts, and no re-inspections. Animal shelters, we've had 6 no contacts, 5 re-inspections, and 127 of those total were inspected. Boarding training, 1 no contact, 2 re-inspections. Total, we had 97 inspected. Hobby breeders, we had 2 no contacts, 1 re-inspection, and a total of 41 total inspected. Pet shops, we only had 1 no contact, no re-inspections, and we had 49 total inspected. Rescue networks, we've had 2 no contacts, 1 re-inspection, and 32 total were inspected. Retail breeders, we've had 7 no contacts, 4 re-inspections, and 68 total inspected. Let's see here. So our no contact trends. So this was one that a few meetings back we kind of requested, and it's a great look at where we are currently based on previous years, based on our no contact numbers. So in 2017, as of August 9th, we had 85 no contacts. And you'll notice that now, as of license year 2020, May 8th of 2020, we've had 22 no contacts. So we are seeing a steady decline of no contact numbers, which is good. I would say that a lot of that contributes to the fact that we did not have inspectors going out for a period of time. So we would probably see more if we were able to go back out and do those during that time. Re-inspection trends you'll also see has gone down significantly. In 2017, we had 44, and now in 2020, we have 17. So we see a decline. Again, there could be more based on not going out. I will say that we were still responding to complaints during that time of COVID restrictions. And so whenever we went, we did have a couple of those come out that needed to be re-inspections at that time. So we could have probably had more at that time, but based on the situation, we have 17 this year. So that's basically our AFI update in the way of numbers. Inspector training. So we have a statutory requirement to work with the Kansas State University, and we specifically work with the College of Veterinary Services. And we have our annual training to occur on September 21st from 2 to 4. It will be held virtually with Dr. Crower and Dr. Davis of the veterinary school. They're going to speak on the topics of brucellosis, canine distemper, parvovirus, and disease propagation. Our inspectors throughout this year have kind of seen these increase in cases, and so we want our inspectors to be educated on these topics so that whenever facilities are asking questions, we can easily answer them and we can guide them in how to, get that out of their facility and keep themselves as clean as possible in their facilities. So licensees are open to join for this training. They can go through this breadcrumb that I have here, or you can email me directly and I can send you a direct link. It takes a little bit, but you have a registration opportunity. You can go on, register, kind of like you did for the board meeting, and it'll send you a link for you to participate. It'll be good information. It's always very educational whenever we have anything with Dr. Crower and anything from the vet school. So if you're interested in those topics, I suggest you hop on that day and we'll include you in that training. You all know every other year we do our small animal seminar, and the 2021 small animal seminar will be held virtually instead of in person, which we think will be a great opportunity to have that opportunity for everybody to join in and it not be restricted to only a few people that can actually physically come. This also gives us a great opportunity to have some excellent speakers come in that we wouldn't have to pay for their travel and that be our biggest budget expense. So great opportunities for this next virtual seminar. The tentative plan is to have kind of luncheon seminars between on Tuesday and Thursdays during the month of June 2021. So every Tuesday, Thursday from about noon to 1, we'll have a new speaker every time, Tuesday, Thursday, throughout that month, and it'll be on new topics and everything. So we'll have probably about 8 subjects if you take 4 weeks and 2 days out of the week. So see more information coming for that. We are currently working on trying to get topics. I recommend if you have any current topics that you really want to see us get speakers on, definitely email me so we can kind of get those started. We are looking for topics. We have, I think, 3 for sure we know we're doing. So we have about 5 left that we can open up for any suggestions. So definitely send those suggestions to me if you have any. And then, of course, our policy and procedures manual. So we've been reviewing this a lot since the LPA audit. We did a significant update and change on this policy and procedures manual. There's now a 106-page document. It used to be like a 37-page document. So we have put a lot of time and effort into this. I sent the board members an electronic copy of the manual on August 12th. And I encourage you all to let me know if you had any comments, questions, concerns. But currently I've not had any received at this time. So I'm taking that as good news. But if you do still have any comments, questions, concerns, definitely send those to me. Myself or Jenny can easily answer any questions because Jenny in legal provided a lot of input into these policies. So currently, that is what I have. Do we have any questions for my section of that? Hearing none.
Hey, Tyler, I do have one question.
Yeah.
Just about, you had mentioned that you're seeing a little bit more of the diseases in the, facilities that you're investigating or inspecting. And I was wondering, do you have any statistics on how much that's going up, or do we know why you're seeing more of those diseases?
I wouldn't have direct stats currently like in front of me right now. I wouldn't say that it's significantly more than any others, but these are the ones that we've specifically seen. And it's based, a lot of it is facilities not taking that time for some biosecurity, separating animals, but I don't have any specific stats right now. But those specifically are what we've seen this past year and what we have seen in past years that we feel that our inspectors could really use some information on.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Tyler, this is Terry, and I have a question as well.
Mhm.
It has to do with your slide that speaks to the vacancies in the AFI program.
Mhm.
I understand that you have an inspector position that is vacant, and I don't think that that had been filled in 2020. Is that correct? That's always been a vacant position?
No, that has been filled. It just recently become vacant. Kylie Keith used to be in that position, and now it is currently vacant. We had that start being vacant in, I think, middle of August. So it's not been vacant very long. We
Okay.
had some overdue inspections. Our inspectors went out there as well as myself, like I said. We got those all caught up, and we are currently on the search for a new applicant and candidate. So that process has started so we can get that backfilled quickly.
So then you had mentioned you have two positions vacant. One was the Eastern Kansas inspector.
Mm-hmm.
And so when did that position become open, and who was fulfilling that role?
That was Kylie in August. It became open. Our other position we have open is the investigator position, and that's
Okay.
being held for the secretary based on budgeting that we have right now.
Okay, all right. So when you're back up until further notice, you'll have 3 positions total for
Yes.
inspectors. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And then I would like to ask a question too. You had indicated back to the budget, and I understand the concerns overall with budgets at this time. What I am looking at in terms of your August 17 numbers and then your current numbers of 869, I believe, that shows a overall decrease of about 54 licensees. Do I have that correct approximately?
Yeah, that would be about correct.
Okay. And so, I realize I'm just averaging it at about $300 a licensee. I don't know if that's a correct number or how that would all flush out. But can you tell me, I know you were saying you see some worrisome trends in the budget or whatever. Can you specifically tell me what that is, or how the budget has been impacted to date anyway?
I can let Justin speak on that if he's available. He does most of our budgeting information.
Yeah, I'm still here. So, Terry, help me reframe your question. I guess you're asking where the decrease is coming from. Is that a fair assessment of your question, or?
Yes, you had said at one point that you are concerned about the budget and see some decline maybe in the budget. Or maybe I misunderstood that. And so what I'm specifically trying to zero in on is where that's coming from, because I do know that when the legislature approved the budget a couple of years ago, they did authorize more money for the third inspector, another $77,000 or whatever. So I'm just trying to understand your precise concerns regarding the FI budget.
So basically our funding streams are two different funding streams. One is through our licensees and the license fees that our licensees pay. And then the other stream is through our state general fund allotment that the program gets through the state general funds. And you are correct that there, in 2017, 2018, there was an enhancement to our state general funds for that third inspector, which has allowed us to maintain that third inspector, which is why we are working to get that backfilled. So obviously we has, but I think based on the fact that one, we do fully recognize the fact that we're probably going to see a decrease in our state general fund. Probably not this year, but probably in fiscal 22. I'm not sure I know what that impact's going to be. There again, what the agency is going to absorb versus the programs, how it's going to trickle down to the programs is yet to be determined. But we are going to see probably more than likely a decrease in that state general fund allotment that we will receive, as well as coupled with the fact that we are seeing a downward trend in the number of licensings over the years is troubling. So I think we're getting not greatly impacted from either direction, but we're getting kind of a double whammy as far as the potential funding of this program in the future. And so I think we just got to make sure that we're stay on top of it, and we got to be due diligence with the funds that we do receive.
Thank you.
Any other questions we have for my portion? Okay, with that, I will allow us to have any comments from the board and KDA staff. So if we have any, go ahead and speak now.
This is Kendra. This is Kendra Titus.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. I did want to bring up, and maybe we could bring it up at the next meeting and maybe get a group of us together about going over the groomers getting licensed, because I think that would generate a lot of money for the program and really help out. I don't know what the legal is on that, since everything is closed right now. But if we could get that in a process to start, I think it would be a good idea.
Thank you. Yeah, Kendra, we have had that on our radar for a while now. That's going to have to go through statute, as you're probably aware. So go through legislature, all of that part as we establish a license. And so that's definitely something that can be expanded on.
Without opening up the bill, can we just do a separate one?
Most likely not, because of
like where you do it separate.
Yeah, most likely not, because our licensing caps are in our statute. I'd have to talk with our chief legal counsel on how that would look, but I wouldn't, from my understandings, we'd have to go through legislature to establish a new license.
Well, because I know that they had went on and taken out euthanizing special ways of dogs, and that was put on a separate bill, and that was taken out, and it was already in there. So I didn't know if there was another way around that. Maybe Terry would know.
Kendra, I think that Tyler is correct that when you're establishing a new license, that it would probably have to be statutory change. But I would defer certainly to legal counsel, Sheila Martin, our legal counsel, or the AFI's legal counsel for a cooperation of that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think that's correct. I'd look at it more closely, but I think that groomers are a new license category and it would require a statutory change. Jennifer may know more on that as well, if she's still on.
I am still here. It's possible that there are some options available to us in terms of changes to the KAR. But this is the first I'm hearing of that request. You know, I wasn't aware that you guys were thinking of licensing groomers. So we'd need to look into it a little further. In general, everyone is correct. Yes, we would probably have to open up the statute in order to create a separate licensing category, but there might be some other options. So hopefully we'll have an answer for you the next time we meet again.
But like I said, Kendra, it's definitely been something that's been on my radar since our last meeting. I know Jenny wasn't on there, so that's probably why we've got her in the dark. But with that, researching other states on how they have established their laws and their definitions, regulations specific to grooming compared to other license types in their regulations and statutes. That's been a process of mine I've been trying to work through. So we can definitely dive into that.
What about if you just added on to boarding? What if you just added on to boarding and include grooming, boarding, grooming?
You would still have
to. Is that
to
an option or no?
You would still have to adjust that cap. You wouldn't be able to really increase it just because the statute holds that cap of the fee. And currently we're at the highest cap for that in our regulations to count that. So we could tack on that specifics. You'd still have to add in those definitions and those regulations and those statutes for those definitions into the bill. Unfortunately, I don't really see much opportunity around going into it without legislation. Do we have any other comments from the board or from our KDA staff?
Tyler, this is Justin, if I may.
Go ahead.
I just wanted the board to really or reiterate your comments earlier about the picking up the inspections in the eastern half and the work that your inspector crew as well as yourself put into that. And I just want to make sure they understand that. I mean, we put that area in a problem just because of the fact that it was the hot spots up around the Kansas City metro area that we were not allowed. I mean, we just didn't allow the inspectors to go into that region and do inspections. And so that area was behind. It was significantly behind, but based on your guys' efforts and being able to prioritize that, that area is up to speed, and it is current at this point in time. So don't want to belabor it. I just wanted to say thank you to you guys and your crew, and make sure the board recognized the fact that there has been some efforts and a lot of miles put on cars in an effort to try to bring everybody back up to speed and make them current. So thank you for that.
The only thing I'll add to Justin's comment there is that we've had inspectors that are doing quite a few overnights in that eastern Kansas area just to make sure that we can keep that up to date too. So, and it's not just for what we've been doing for overdues. Our inspectors are still going over there at least maybe 1 or 2 times a week to make sure that we keep that maintained and no other overdue inspections come. So during this vacancy, we're pushing on our team to make sure that everything is up to date, up to snuff, and keeping everything where it should be. So I definitely want to say thank you to my team because they have done a great job in helping us keep that stable over there. And I guess my other comments would be that I appreciate you all coming in and hearing our updates. I wish we had a lot more. You know, COVID has put on a lot of stress on us. And so I will say, I think the results from the LPA audit will be good. We've had a lot of changes that we've made to our policies and procedures to address those suggestions that the LPA had. And that's part of the looking at the overdue inspections we've had. We have a system in place now that allows us to make sure that inspections are being done in a timely manner and that they are being looked at in a further basis versus a overdue basis. So I will say that I hope we would see a good result in that post-audit. Okay, so with that, if we don't have any other comments from the board or staff, we could do our public comment period. Again, please limit 2 minutes. I know we're getting to be about that hour long here soon. So if there's any public comment, please state your name, who you're with, and then whatever you have to comment on. Wonderful, hearing none. We need to set our next meeting date. So currently it is November 4th, 2020 that I see on my calendar. If we did the 11th, it would be, I believe, Veterans Day. So that would be a state holiday and nobody would be in. But does November 4th work for all of our board members to plan for the next meeting?
That's fine with me, Tyler. This is Mark.
Thank you.
Fine with me, Kendra.
Okay, perfect.
It's Laura Lee. It's fine with me.
Okay. Dr. Moreland, does that work for you as well?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm going to imagine it'll most likely be virtual again. You'll get another registration just like we did this time and everything like that. I'm not sure when we'll be able to have an in-person meeting again, but like I said earlier, it's reality. So Could I get a motion to set November 4th as our meeting date?
Laura, so move.
Kendra seconds.
We'll do our normal time of 10 a.m. So November 4th, 2020 at 10 a.m. Perfect. Okay. Closing remarks. I don't have any. Mark, do you have any closing remarks?
I don't have anything, Tyler. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, with that, we can adjourn. Do I have an motion to adjourn?
This is Mark, so moved.
In a second.
Laura, second.
Okay. All right, with that, I appreciate everybody coming on and joining us today and participating. Like I said before, give any comments, questions, concerns, or anything to my email, and we'll see you again November 4th.
Thanks, Tyler.
Thank you.